not a problem for you. Where are you there tonight?
I am in the heart of Barcelona, in a very special place. Actually, to be honest, it's my office, but it turned out, my office is a bar, of course. I think anybody who knows me can grab that concept, but we use it also for professional ends, like showing products and having sommeliers coming over. But actually, we were looking to have a place in Barcelona, and Barcelona is a very alive city. When I arrived here 30 years ago, Gracia was the barrio to be. 10 years later, El Born was the new place to be, a new barrio that was growing. And now, since 2-3 years, Poble Sec is the new place to be. Tickets, Ferran Adrià, big chefs starting up restaurants in this area, very close to the Montjuic. It's still a kind of a village feeling sometimes, like Gracia 30 years ago. But it's, of course, the city is absorbing this area. And of course, we are right here waiting for them all to arrive. It's all about placement, place, and place. They say, to be honest, what we pay for rental here, I would pay probably double for 3 square meters on diagonal with a white lamp above my head and no views, and have a professional office. But here I work with pleasure, and not only me, my entire team loves this place.
I'd say so. And are the streets quiet around where you are at the moment?
Yeah. I must say now, during the confinement, because Montjuic is a very green area. Literally, I cross the street here, and it's a lot of parks. They have the Miro Museum, the Von Thyssen, the Mies van der Rohe Museum, and a few more. But it's a beautiful mountain with a castle on top, and it's a really green area. So during the confinement, when they had like 2 hours to leave their apartments, there was loads of people passing by here, and that's new. Now it's finished. We're back again to relaxing, because tourism is completely gone. There is no tourism still at the moment. So the city is really like, let's go walk down the Rambla again. Let's feel our Rambla again. Because everybody was staying away. Really, nobody was liking it anymore. I myself must have been years that I have been walking down the Ramblas. And now suddenly, Park Güell, Sagrada Familia, we don't have to make a reservation online 3 months and ahead to visit our own church. So yeah, kilometer zero. And it's very hot, The climate, Barcelona, it's next to the sea, it's humid. There's only one way to survive, very hot. And in this case, citric.
Sounds good to me. Okay, cool. Well, why don't we kick off there? So good evening to everyone on the call. Got over 1,000 people on Zoom. Hi to everyone on Facebook. Hello, Ray, the wine nut, and hello, Stefan, our gin maker, who's there. I mean, you must win the prize, Stefan, for the best Zoom prop I've ever seen. Just sitting in your bar there, joining us for the chat. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm Eamon, the wine guy. Great to be on here tonight again. And this is Stefan. And just to tell you quickly about how our paths first crossed. It was about 5 years ago, I think it was, Stefan. The gin craze was just kicking off, and I wanted in. And so I sent a note around to all of our winemakers to ask them, hey, did they know anyone who's making gin? Because Naked Wines wants to make gin. And one of them told me about a crazy Belgian man living in the hills outside of Barcelona, who was also starting a gin business. So I thought this could be totally perfect or totally disastrous. But anyway,
latter. Anyway.
So I hopped on a plane. I hopped on a plane anyway and flew over to meet Stefan. So we drove up to Priorat and met in a vineyard there. And a few of you who might have been on with the Frank Massard session a few weeks back might remember, about Frank telling you about Priorat and what makes it so special and why the wines are so incredible. But for me, we stood in a vineyard and, Stefan explained about the special soils and the fact that we're so elevated, like high up, and the sea was just a couple of hills away, and how it's a region of extremes. So the grapes taste so flavorsome, really hot days, really cool nights. And the same goes for the herbs. So, we just in the vineyard and picked some, wild rosemary and thyme off the ground, and again, smelled it and just so intense and flavorsome. And that's when I kind of realized and understood that this is a great place to make gin. So then, Stefan brought me down to the small village, Falset, where he lives and he's based, and showed me around this disused textile factory, which he had dreams of making a gin distillery out of, and explained, how, the local village, like so many small villages in Spain, had just been decimated by, textiles and industry leaving, and there's a lot of unemployment, and how much that would mean for the small local economy if we could start working together and making gin. So, and then tasted it, and I was blown away and thought, right, we need to bring this back to our customers. So yeah, 5 years later, many thousands of bottles of gin, vermouth, cava, many wild nights out together in the UK and in Spain, and here we are. And really excited to hear your story, Stefan. I'm fully loaded here with a lovely Rambla G&T. I might need a top up at half time. I've also got a bottle of vermouth here, which I'm gonna tuck into as well. Let us know what you're drinking in the comments, and if you've got any questions, use the Q&A functionality underneath the screens, and or else pop us a question on Facebook and we'll get that across as well. So yeah, welcome, Stefan. Tell us, as a Belgian man, how did you end up in the hills outside Barcelona making gin?
Well, it's a little bit. It was.
We have 1 hour, Stefan.
1 hour. Okay. So about 30 years ago, I was studying at the academy in Antwerp, and I wasn't very happy with the teachers. I was very happy with my work, but I wasn't convinced they really saw the value of my work. Later I found out that they threw out Van Gogh at the same academy, so that was a good argument for me. So in the third course, they didn't approve me, and I didn't really agree with that. So I wanted to change schools or country. Even the most common alternative would be Delft in Holland, very famous industrial design school. But, I wanted something exotic. So we went on holiday in Spain with 3 friends of mine, the typical, you rent a car and are away for 2 weeks. And I passed through Barcelona in August, late August. Of course, everything was closed, nothing to do. I couldn't talk to anybody. But the school here in Barcelona, the Academy for Industrial Design, and it's the Academy for All Arts, the patio, it's the first hospital that was constructed in Europe, very old building. And there's a huge patio inside, old stone building. And in the middle of it, there's 2 fountains of water and beautiful mandarin trees. And they were all like hanging these mandarins. I walked in there and I was like, oh yes, I want to study here. I want to walk here. I want to come every day to this building. I was like, fell in love with it. I was like, I need to be there, like more than. So when I came back home, I contacted the school, and the decan of the school of industrial design. He told me, listen, we're just opening the first year for Erasmus foreign students. So yeah, you can apply. And I told him, yeah, I don't know if I want to come with Erasmus, but can I show you my work? And he said, yes, come over. So I had to grab really my last pennies I had left over. I bought one of these cheap bus tickets back and forth, Antwerp, Barcelona. I had a friend from a friend where I could sleep at night. So I went over with my portfolio and showed it to them. And so they sacked me on the third course in Antwerp. But this guy looked at my work and he said, you can come in the fourth course here on base of the work that you present me. So yes, he kind of saw a little bit the value of my work. You know? And a friend from a friend where I was staying had a huge apartment, very cheap, 30,000 pesetas, one of these life contracts that never goes up anytime. And before I left, he told me, listen, it's big. In the meantime, you look for a place, you can stay here, you know. So I came home and I told my parents, listen, the school accepted me. I've got an apartment, that's the rent. Instead of paying me, the thing is also that in Barcelona, it's 4 years, the course, and in Belgium, it's 5 years. Yeah? So I told my parents, instead of paying me the third, fourth, and fifth course in Antwerp, pay me, because I agreed with the decaan that I didn't speak a word of Spanish. The only thing I spoke was cerveza and caramba, which isn't even Spanish, it's Mexican. So we made a deal that I would do the third course as a free student and then get them officially to the last course. So I told my parents, you know, the budget of 3 years Antwerp, give it to me in 2 years Barcelona. So I was accepted, I had an apartment, they couldn't believe it. Okay, they couldn't say no, and I came to Barcelona. Typical thing, finished first year free student. I'm not going to go in there because we need 5 hours then. Second year, I finished my studies, got my title, and then typically I didn't want to go back to Belgium. You know, Belgium, here we have 30 rainy days on a year. Belgium has 30 sunny days on a year, you know, just for starters. And the mentality, the competition in a rich country, I believe, like Belgium, maybe even UK, is for me a little bit too tight. You know, I need more space. You know? And the culture here in Spain gives me much more human. They lose a lot of time here in this country. You know, it's amazing. You know, to be able to lose time is really something very pleasant. So I decided to stay. And but how would I live? You know, I love cooking since I was like 12 or 8 or 9, you know, when I was 14, I cooked for the family reunions, 15 people. So I started to bake pies, the typical apple pie, you know, the big one, you know, and with the dough with butter, not with olive oil like they do here. And I needed to work the dough like for a moment in the fridge 4 times, cooling down, working again on a marble plate. It's too hot really to make butter. You know, like, but I did it anyway. So I went to with one of these pies to a bar in front of the Picasso Museum in a beautiful terrace in the old city. And the owner, I went in with my pie. And I told him, "Listen, what do you think of this? Would you be interested?" This was a typical place for coffee and pie, or a glass of cava, or a piece of quiche. Or he said, "Yeah, sit down." He ordered 2 coffees, cut the pie. He said, "Wow, marvelous. Can you bring me 2 tomorrow?" Then he asked me, "Can you make quiche, Lorraine quiche?" And I started providing. And so I survived for a year on pies. I was really baking in my apartment from late morning till early afternoon, delivering. Half of the money was to buy ingredients, half of the money was to live. And I survived on that. Then I broke up with my girlfriend. Oh, Jesus, drama, you know. Like,
Let's talk about that.
Okay, we skip that. But I needed some time for myself, being creative. So I found this art farm in El Bruc, a village in Montserrat. You know, the Montserrat Mountains with the old monastery on top. Something very, very beautiful. It's a jewel in Catalonia, 50, well, like less than an hour north from Barcelona. So they have this farm. The last class of the art school in Oslo decided to buy a farm altogether, 12 artists, 12 rooms, talleres to do serigraphy, sculpture, painting. So I went there to write. You know, I rented the room for some days. I wanted to write. I went back a few times, and I liked it very much there. You know? So in Barcelona, my pies were going so well. I had an offer from a restaurant, like, can you cook the daily lunch menu for our clients and use the kitchen in the evening to make the pies and big ovens. And And I was ready, you know, like to start up my first business, but I thought, like, what do I really want? You know? Do I really want to start up a pie business in Barcelona? So my answer was, oh, what I really want is I want to run that art farm in Elbrook, you know. And I remember I took my 2 CV, you know, I had the Dos Caballos, you know, I drove over there, was fantasizing like, I would love to run that place. You know? So I arrived there and there were like 2 people who fixed working, maintenance guy and the manager. I said to them, listen, maybe I can cook here and I can do things here. And the maintenance guy said, listen, Stefan, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. You can have my job. The manager said, oh, no problem. The manager was a woman and she said, listen, Stefan, I'm pregnant. I'm going to quit in 8 or 9 months. You know, if you want, I can recommend you to the owners and you can be maybe the new manager. So yeah, I immediately left the pies, left Barcelona, and I started to work as a maintenance man, 2 or 3 weeks, and then Easter and holiday came. All the clients came, all the owners came, and the pregnant manager had some little bleedings, nothing very serious, but had to go to the hospital. So I immediately took over the entire center, and they immediately contracted me. Then I got bored of that, and I started my own project, a big farm, very old farm in the Cava region. I had
Sorry, did you say a pig farm?
a big farm.
Pig farm.
Big,
Okay.
huge, yeah, not a pig.
Well, if I may, and just try an attempt to draw relatives and comparisons and integrate your other talents other than pig farming and artistry and your studentry work to gin and King's gin with about 40 minutes left in the call.
Okay, so very quickly, on the day of the opening, I got married. I made my own cava, which is the beautiful version, which is online for you guys to have a beautiful night. Then I sold that place. I went into the mountains of Priorat. I loved that nature, and I went into wine business. I was working for 10 years, exporting up to 12 different Catalan wineries, a very small project, quality wines, very different wines, special wines. And then I fell in love with the partner of the BCM Gin story, the gin project, which was a distiller, an old guy from Flanders who moved into the Falset, into Priorat, came from Africa, where he had built huge production sites for palm oil for the biggest, you know, company in Belgium. And he started distilling. He was distilling his grappa, this one. La Quinta Essencia dos Llops, the 5th essence of the wolves. This is because they're distilling the grapes, the lias, the wine lees of Clos Mogador from René Barbier, which is the big reference in the Priorato. So he was distilling this grappa together with René Barbier. They were selling at 100 euros a bottle, and they sold only 6 bottles a year or something. So he said, listen, Stefan, I want something more. He met me, we became immediately friends. I started exporting his grappa. And then one summer day, not long before I met Eamon, he was sitting on the terrace, and I arrived, and he said, Stefan, what do you think if we make a gin? And I said, yes, man, let's make a Mediterranean gin. Let's make a terroir gin. Let's make something which is a wine concept. So then I saw my big opportunity, because in these 10 years of exporting and working for other producers, sometimes it's very hard to connect with the producer, or that the producer connects with the commercial side of his product. All my feedback sometimes, most of the time, got lost, or they spent rather money on a tractor than selling their wines outside. All that world, you know, and I had my ideas. You should do this and this and this. And this. So when Philip said, let's make a gin, I did, and he said, you decide everything. I trusted you 100%. So he gave me that next level of strength of being a creator, you know, a producer, of being, of designing a company, you know, all how I think I should do it.
It's the artistic freedom, which is immense.
Exactly. I always have been looking for freedom in my life. You know? For me, it's very important. And that's why I say I don't make gin. You know, I make I would love to call it art, although if I get born again, I'm going to be an artist, a musician, or or an actor or something. I'm sure of it. But now I try to communicate through. What I like is if I drink a wine and it provokes me something, then it catches my interest. Those are the wines I like. Those are the whiskeys or the gins I like. And I try to catch somebody, to communicate to somebody through my liquor, through my spirit, and the whole concept is very me. I mean, I'm not a distiller. I do things differently. A base alcohol for gin should be neutral, even if you distill it from grapes. My base alcohol is not neutral. Why should I make it neutral? I distill the leaves of Grenache and Carignan from the Priorato. They give me, which is all underneath there. If you go really deep, you will find red fruits, sotabosque, low herbs, the minerality. You will find the Priorat aromas in it, but it's like very deep. It's not like what jumps out in the beginning. So I feel, it's me. I feel sometimes I'm pouring and it's like it runs out of my arm. The gin. It's like it's very personal. And I'm very, very pleased with that, very satisfied with it.
We're very pleased with it too, Stefan. Everyone's on drinking gin and would love to know, what you serve it with. Could you make us a gin, or have you got one there, or what would you recommend?
Well, it's I love gastronomy. I was in wines. It's obvious that savor and smell, aromas. I love that. Makes me mad, really. And when I started with the gin, to be honest, I never asked myself, can I do this or should I do this? I just started doing it. And it was a school, of course. My first gin took me 6 to 8 months. We worked on it to pin down. But what was really very strong for me was that coming from wine, we were all the time, defining, okay, this wine smells like mango, this wine has leather, vanilla. You learn a language to describe art. Yeah? But you never really, there's no lab, there's no technique to analyze a flavor. You and me agree on the flavor and that's it. There is no science that can back us up. So when I went into gin and we started distilling, we literally distilled every herb, every fruit, every tree that grows in the Priorato, just to try out. Most of them, didn't give us any use. But when
did you record? Stefan, did you record your findings? Like, you pick a fruit or you pick a herb and then you distill it and you go, God, that's awful. But you write down, at least, do you have a record?
Yeah, of course. I mean, today, honestly, we are not walking at 6 o'clock in the morning again in the mountains to pick wild botanicals. But our formula, how we designed our gin, was made that way, literally. Yeah. So, but the whole thing is, what I was saying is, when you start to be able to separate an aroma, it's really crazy. In wine, they're always combining, and when they combine, they can create other aromas. That's why this wine tastes like this, and that one and they're next to each other. The fields, the difference, or maybe the wood of the barrel, if it's wood aged or not, but whatever. Every grape has its own essence, basically. Now that's going very far, no? But I have distillates of juniper berry, of figs, of lime peel, orange peel, lemon peel, mandarin peel. I have distillates of grapefruit, but also rosemary, thyme, laurel, cloves. We've been trying a lot of things, yeah. And what happens is that you think like, okay, I like citric, and I like a bit fruitiness from the fig, and and then you mix it together, and whoops, it's something completely else. And you can't dominate flavors. So how do I make a balanced terroir gin? Well, every time I want to do something, I choose the most difficult and hardest objective, because if I don't reach it, I will reach far enough. You know? So it was fallen and get up again. You know, my first tasting, I was drunk after half an hour. I had to learn how to taste strong alcohol.
Did you ever sober up after that, Stefan?
That's not for me to say. I mean, I feel sober all my life. I'm waiting still to the day that I can get drunk, please. You know, I have this natural system.
You are a machine.
Fine. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. But Stefan, can I say, and I think most people who've been tasting your gin at the tasting tour, where you've been, you know, a central figure, and then the amount of people who keep coming back for the different gins that you've introduced, I think it is testament to your, you know, experimentation and trials and so on, because the profile that you've created, there are many famous, or, you know, there's many gins that people can name. And you've introduced this, from my perspective anyway, but for what I can see from the comments, you've introduced this sort of really a palette of flavors that, as you said, come with putting a little bit of this with a little bit of that, or crossing this with that. And what we haven't seen and don't need to see is the absolute where it all went wrong. So you've done all the crazy tastings for us, but what we have, I've got Rambler 41 and the Lot d'Iverne here, and they're just, in fact, both of them, they're both beautiful, but the Lot d'Iverne goes off on this real sort of like red currant and fruity style, even though it's a winter gin.
Much, I mean, to be honest, I always wanted to be somebody in this life, and I do it through what I do. And I mean, you show who you are, really, and it's by creating, by doing, you know, by showing, and that's why it's personal, but it is business. You know? I have to eat. My family has to be able to go to live their life. So that's the beauty, you know, and that's. What you guys provoked for me, Naked Wines, you know, the impact of Naked Wines. I never, you know, I never could have wondered I was capable of creating all this. You know? But you know, you guys, you all gave me so much trust, and it went all so well, and the feedback was fabulous. You know, sometimes.
What happened?
Yes. Somebody must, it's false, you know, it's like you pay a company probably in Indonesia that puts on, we love you, Stefan, you have the best gin ever, you know, because, I mean, and you can't believe how much energy that gives me, you know, that people love what I make, you know, it's like, wow. So thank you very much for what you're saying about my spirits.
Well, it's quality.
And Stefan, what would you say then what's the experience of working with Naked and making gin for the Angels versus maybe the traditional route that a lot of gin makers, you know, dealing with bars and restaurants and importers? What's the real difference for you?
Starters, you know, I have, it all started with my house brand, which you guys had the pleasure to taste last Christmas. Yeah, it all started with this, you know. So it was all.
BCN, Stefan, is that BCN? What is that brand? Just to show us BCN.
Yeah.
BCN, yeah, Barcelona BCN gin.
So this was the you know, where it all started, you know. And as I said before, I always aim as high as possible. So, and we're trying to do brand building to be recognized in the market. Yeah, it's asking a lot because there are huge companies. It's a very aggressive market, you know. And in 5 years' time, I haven't been able to sell one bottle of this gin in the UK. But in 5 years' time, I've been able to sell like 350,000 bottles of Rambler 41 in the UK. You know, so I mean. I know the public is ready for my gin, but the professionals or the importers or the bartenders, how do you get to them? By paying the bar. I know bars that, you know, I know brands that pay 3,000 euros a month and you take away all the gins on the shelf, you put only their gin, all the gins go underneath. And if somebody asks you gin and tonic, serve my brand, 3,000 euros a month. There are companies that pay you floors and bar, you whatever, you know, your fridges, your terrace, you know how it goes. That's the money business, you know. So
it's quite a different industry to the wine, which we've been based on this
exactly.
chat.
It's this model, you know, that they are imposing really and controlling and dominating, you know. So where is the freedom? Well, Naked Wines is freedom. You know, Naked Wines is really getting all that bullshit out of it and going straight to your producers, making honest products and bring it over. But the impact that Naked Wines had on, I can dream longer and more by working with Naked Wines. Maybe I already died if I wasn't working with Naked Wines, because we don't sell volume, we sell an experience, you know, we sell, and we don't have the budgets to buy the market, you know, so it's art. Art isn't easy to sell, you know, but if we have time, if I can keep on working and keep doing what I'm doing, I'm convinced I might get there. I'm convinced I'm going to get there. But if I get there, the impact of Naked Wines is a huge impact, as a big percentage on the success of my business or my product. You know, now I'm still like, yeah, I'm still going, and this and that. These things you see when you look back, you know, someday. But yeah, I can assure you that you guys made me stronger, more adventurous, and I could grow in a way that I couldn't have put in my business plan, never. I couldn't have thought. And when Eamon explained me the concept of Naked Wines, I was immediately like, yes, finally somebody makes sense, you know, in a model of how does Naked Wines do business? You know? It's the 21st century, please. You know? All these trucks that sell you toilet paper, soap, gin, beer, and whatever, you know, the truck comes along and buy bars, whatever. No, that's finished. Now a bar, you know, a restaurant, they need personality, and they will buy and search for their own products. But they can't get there because the traditional business, they decide what comes in the country. You brought in my gins in the country because you're Naked Wines. Nobody else could. And what a big mistake are they making? So, thank you.
Cheers for that, Stefan. Stefan, I've got a question here from Tanzan. Please show us how to make a gin.
Of course.
See that.
I'm gonna show you something new today. It's a little trick which I do with the BC engine. You know, because of the base alcohol is a distillate of wine. It's very important when you serve a gin and tonic, it has to be very cold. Gin is 60% water. I don't want more water in my G&T. So I need a lot of ice and I need a cold glass. This glass is not cold, so we're gonna make it cold. While I make it cold, I add a splash of red Grenache, in this case from the Montsant, which is one of the grapes we distill. And you see how it's getting fresh, it's getting chilled, the glass. The wine is like giving a flavor to it. Once it's quite chilled, we're going to throw away we don't want the water, and the wine is diluted, so we throw it away. So we are left.
So your glass is just coated with light red wine.
Of red wine. More ice. No, don't let it cool down. Okay, gin. The classic Mediterranean. This is like the one you marry and never divorce for your life. This is where you go wrong, you know, when you fool your wife or your husband. This is a winter gin. It has this beautiful fruitiness, and this is summertime, citric, you know. So I'm going to do a citric one for you guys because it's hot. It's really hot. Garnish, not really anything. Why? Because my gin is very complex, very balanced. It's all there, you know. I don't need anything more. We all want to add something because we need some color. Orange, any citric is always good. I love the peel. Peel has another quality that it has phosphor in its in the beer which comes out of it and gives it a little touch of amargo there, a little bitter to it. That's your base. Then we do seconds and cocktail, and I do a low version. So we go 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Normally it's 27 seconds. I do a lower dose because it's a very intense gin. You don't have to overload it, and we want balance overall. Then comes the tonic. It's for everybody free to choose, but treat my baby well and don't pour any tonic over it, you know. Make your own choice, look for it. The Fever Tree Indian tonic, it's they say they have natural quinine. Let's believe them for a moment and let's go for this one. The spoon, normally they use a twisted spoon to break the bubble of the tonic. I don't want this. I use the spoon so the tonic runs underneath my alcohol and it's going to push up the alcohol on top of the glass. Alcohol, like wine, in contact with oxygen will open its aromas. You know, so now this is coming up. It's bubbling upside. It's spread. I can, you know, it's like people on the street are already turning their head, smelling these aromas. When you bring this glass to your mouth, to your nose, this is the moment I want to seduce. Yeah? There you're going to decide if you like it or you don't, before you even drink. So using the spoon makes sense when you want to seduce somebody. Cheers. This is the perfect serve for Rambla 49.
Awesome.
Wow.
Great. You followed me really on the letter. You're very good, Ray.
All right. Here to serve, Stefan.
How did it work out, Ray?
It was delicious. What were you expecting? No, it's yummy.
It's a London gin is vertical, 2-3 peaks of aromas, runs over your tongue, it's gone. This is horizontal. There are no peaks. Everything is in balance. No, juniper berry doesn't jump out. You know, it's all. It has a creamy texture. As everybody knows, we almost don't filter. We definitely don't do it chill filtering. Definitely not, because you can lose up to 30% of your aromas. Winemakers should think about this. They also lose 30% of the intensity of their aromas by chill filtering. That means that it has the essential oils left, which gives it that adds up to the creamy texture on your tongue. Yeah. And that is our big secret, which may he rest in peace, Philip, my friend and co-founder of this company. And this is our big secret. We apply a technique where we open the molecular structure of our spirit, our base alcohol. It's like Ferran Adrià. You know, if you have a spoon of foam which you taste and it blows away your mind, so intense, how can you do that? You know? It's about opening a molecular structure. The probability that the flavor aroma enters in your taste bud is 10 times higher. So you have a sensation which lasts, which has length. And there we are with wine. Blick, balance, length, intensity, and complexity. And these are the 4 points I wanted into my gin tonic.
Wow. The whole country is applauding right now. That was some performance, Stefan. And Stefan, tell us about the bar you're in right now. So I understand this was kind of part of your strategy to maybe get one up on, you know, compete against the bigger brands. And
it happily fits in my marketing strategy, because at the first time I always look first of all that I really enjoy what I do and that I love what I do and what I am, you know. So there is this new phenomenon of the cocktail scene is back. You know, it's linked with the new generation also. And there is a concept which is called speakeasy, which were bars during the Prohibition in the 20s in the States. Literally speak easy, because the police on the street can't hear you, because then they will close down our joint. And so they moved the bar every 3 days to another place. You had to find out. Sometimes you needed a password to get in. So all the big cities in London, everywhere, even in Norwich, I don't know, in Norwich, is there really a speakeasy? There must be a speakeasy in Norwich. Anyway, the whole concept is we in Barcelona have some There's one which is a pastrami bar, you know, where you can get pastrami sandwiches. Fridges in the back, you know, you can buy the sandwich. And the last fridge door, you open it and you enter it. Wow, beautiful cocktail bar with a live band playing, full of beautiful,
awesome,
drinking cocktails. There's another one, Bobby Gin, which is a hairdresser. You need to get a password from their site, and again the same thing. But they all have licenses for their hidden bars. You know, they are official. They pay. This bar has no license. This is not a legal bar. It's my office. So, what amount? We organize a very special night here, and you have to find out. It won't be published. You can't find it anywhere. You have to know me, know another guy of my crew. Once you're in for life. And you all angels are in for life. You just have to come over and let me know, and I will get you in. I will.
Stefan, there are already people in the chat. You can see the chat icon down at the bottom. They're already saying they'd love to go to this bar. How do they go to this bar? But as you said, we have a growing number of angels, but how can they contact you? Is that via your wall, or how? How can they go visit when life resumes?
You touch down Barcelona airport, first guy you see, you ask for me. Listen, we are going to do something here, like during the day at least, that you can walk in and at least see the place. I'm going to put botanicals here. I'm going to put perfumes of all my gins. We're working on it. I need some time on that, and that's going to be like public. You know? But the speakeasy is not public. It's never going to be public. So just give me a post.
Perhaps they give you a post, exactly, and you reply to that post and you take it up separately.
I'm thinking as the inspector of the city of Barcelona will see my conversation with the Naked Angel on your platform. You know? So it's cool. You can just ask me on the platform, listen, I'm going to be in Barcelona. Does there happen to be a speakeasy on those days? And if it happens to be, you will be in. By the way, to be a real speakeasy, to be a real mafioso, you know, at the opening when we had like 150 people here, which is not the idea. We want to have maximum 41 people. Not 41. At the opening, we had 2 inspectors from the city of Barcelona. They're already in my pocket, and they told me I can make 3 mistakes, and they will arrange it. That's the speakeasy spirit. You know? That's the illegal bar prohibition. Capone, you know, El Capone, he had the south side cocktail, and the other big guy had the north side. They had the good liquors, you know, the whiskeys and the quality. And south side El Capone, they made bad gin, you know, bad gin. You know, gin is it's so easy to make a bad gin. You know? So you know how cocktails were invented? To hide the bad quality of a gin. Now we make cocktails like it is, and I'm happy that it is an art, you know? And it's a science. Now we call it mixology. That's the new wave which is growing, and I welcome that very much, because a good cocktail, man, can your pants can fall off in a second when you sip on a good cocktail.
So Stefan, speaking of cocktails, I'm on the Vermouth. I'm having it neat. So could you show us how to make a Negroni?
A Negroni, oh yes, that's a good one. There is of course the easy way. We have a bottled Negroni, which is it's far away from the classical Negroni, you know. But it's there. Yeah? So as always, there is a lot of discussion on. What are the proportions? You know, the classical recipe is 1/3 of Campari, 1/3 of Vermouth, and 1/3 of gin. But in all classical cocktail recipes, which gin, which Vermouth? Nobody asks which Campari because it's a brand and it's not good. Anyway, we're going to do one. Have some Campari. Yes. So what I do, I'm gonna be you know, like more modest on the Campari side. I like to, it's hot, so we're gonna shake it. We're not gonna stir it. Which I think is good because it dilutes also a little bit. You know, there's something about the Campari which we have to hide away, and you know, chilling it a little bit always helps very well. Shaking it. So we're gonna do one part of gin, one part of vermouth, and half a part of Campari. This, of course, is a cocktail for bitter lovers. For once, bitter is sweet, so enjoy that. Bitter is a typical taste that you have to develop, that you have to learn. In Belgium, we have endives, and that's how we learn to eat bitter when we're very young. Once you like bitter, you will ask for more and more. You can have waves in your life sometimes, you know, like picante or whatever. So, one part of the gin.
You said one part gin, one part
vermouth,
vermouth, half a part of Campari.
So, it's all about rhythm. Don't go. No, it's about rhythm. It's like Brazil. It's feel. Music you have to feel. This is real. Sometimes you have to shake it. And then you go slow.
There will be those who out there who will ask the question, has this man been drinking since 8 o'clock? But I know you, and I know that even when you only start drinking at 12 o'clock midday, that you still have this enthusiasm, and it's not an 8 a.m. sort of like long all day binger character you have. I would, just while you're pulling it together, I was only recounting the other day the tasting tours where we would be going between, say, Bristol and Nottingham or Leeds, and we'd wake up in the morning, get on the bus, everyone's tired, and you get on, you're last, you're very tired, and you have your sort of cushion sleeper thing, like a neck thing for an airplane. You pass out as soon as you put your head down on the bus, and we're like,
I manage my time, you know.
Yeah, many times, no, but it's an art. And you fall asleep, and then we pull in maybe to a garage if it's a long journey. We all get off, try and get some food and water. You come back and you go, oh, I had a steak and 4 Guinness. and although we're like half appalled, half jealous, we're like, that guy just had a steak and 4 Guinness. I mean, that's living. And then you get back on the bus and you fall asleep again, and you wake up in Leeds or Leicester or wherever we're going. There is an art to it, Stefan.
I do this out of responsibility for all my angels. I need energy. I need to build up. I need to sleep well. And
you get iron from Guinness.
And we are talking.
Strength. It's true.
We're talking about pleasure here.
So where are you, Stefan?
I shaked the Negroni and I'm serving it now in a cocktail glass.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's the art of cocktails. So this definitely we need to finish off with orange peel. And exaggerate. Really
oh, that's right.
You can do it. I'll show you something. Do the twist. Let's do the twist. It's a good thing, eh? The spoon.
Oh, that's beautiful, Stefan. It is art. You are artist. You have achieved your artistry.
You know where I got my inspiration to make Negroni? In Italy, in Genova. In the city of love, where Romeo and Juliet. How is it called?
Verona.
Verona, yeah. So I was sitting in Verona on this big square, you know, with the arena in the back. It was like 11:30. I finished my business meeting. I had to go to another city. Sat down there, ordered a Negroni. This Italian waitress came by. She said, like, wow, you know, but now you're asking for a Negroni. You know, this is, I take you, you know, like it's their culture. You know? And there I got inspired, man. There I really got blown away. from a Negroni. It is very special. And I need two hands to drink it.
Well, we are in
Oh,
the chapel of Stefan. Eamon, I have some things I'd love to show you.
Yes.
All right.
Nice, nice. So, if this is too difficult, this is bottled, yeah, but it has a twist to it. Here, I make bitters, my own bitters, mainly from green almonds. So it has this marzipan flavor. You know, in the beginning, everybody, all angels said like, oh, this is Christmas in a bottle. You know, this is this orange pancake brioche flavor to it. You know, and a lot of angels told me this is Christmas in a bottle. This with the marzipan is another twinkle to Christmas. You know, marzipan. You know, in the Vermouth you have canela. Canela, when you say that.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Very Christmas also. And the Negroni, it's a classical. It's a king among cocktails. You know, so I know it's hard to love when you're not used to bitters, but you can work on it. Like me, try to enjoy it every day, and you will come to a good result. Coming back to you, Ray, I don't drink, I enjoy. I rarely drink for drinking, you know? But I drink a lot to enjoy life. A lot, not in quantity, but in flavors. You know? I need once in a while a beautiful malt whiskey, you know. I need once in a while a beautiful tequila, a pisco sour. I mean, and let's not get into wines. If you talk wines, there's so much I need once in a while. And it's about, this is in my life. All these things are in my life, and I can understand them, and I can get them into my life. I can buy them, and I can enjoy them. Where is the platform? Where can I find these products? And I think Naked and you guys, you know, I'm a gin maker, yeah. But what do? I drink Naked wines.
Yeah. Stefan, let's go to some questions from some customers, and we'll answer them super quick because we're running out of time. So Ailsa asks, Rambla41 introduced her to gin drinking. The first bottle she had was slightly cloudy, and some people are wondering, why is that cloud gone in more recent releases?
First, I was afraid my gin was too cloudy.
Unclarified.
Crazy thing, you know. The first production that we sent over, that we made, we didn't expect it, because every bottle that we bottle is crystal clear. Yeah? And if you don't do a chill filtering, what is chill filtering? You bring down your wine, your liquor, your spirit, your gin, whatever. You bring it down to 0 to 3 degrees. When it's that cold, the crystals will form. They will combine together. The precipitations will happen. This precipitation can be as small as a point in a cloud, as big as a stone on your riñones. How do you call it? On your
Kidney, yeah.
So when we bottle, it's crystal clear, but then it travels. And the first time we sold the Naked wines was in December 2014. So if I recall well. And it was quite cold in England. When it's cold, why do they bring the wine or the spirit down to 0 to 3 degrees to make it cold? Because when it's cold, crystals start to happen. Then they block them through filtering and they keep behind. But on the crystals, you lose aromas, molecules of aromas. So we don't do a chill filtering. So suddenly, after 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 3 or 2, I don't know, the bottles arrive at places at home of angels. Suddenly there were these pictures of a cloudiness, like crystal formations at the bottom, this and that. And so then we got this question like, hey, Stefan, what's going on here? So I started to analyze what's really going on, because I hadn't seen it yet. Because again, we bottled crystal clear. So I analyzed, and I brought in one of our partners, a very good friend, and he used to be on Naked Portal also, is Noel Robertson. He's my quality master, you know. He came in, he said, Stefan, this is this is a consequence of non-self filtering and pure natural. Yeah, in malt whiskies they do the same, but it's not transparent and you don't see it. Yeah? When you see it, people don't accept it. Any supermarket that gin would have turned cloudy, they would have told me, get rid of it. You can get it. You can take it all back, and it would have been a drama. You know? But not for naked wines, because they listened to me. You know? I explained that, like, what is happening here is a consequence of wanting quality, of wanting an honest product. I want it to taste like this, and I want that intensity, and I want the flavors to come over. So I don't want to compromise with killing my flavors. And they, first of all, they believed me, which is very strange. And secondly, they kept on buying my gin because they loved it. This is a sign of artisan production. Yeah. Honestly, all the gins under 15 pounds or whatever is artificial chemical alcohol. It's chemical alcohol. It's not natural. You know, we work natural, and when you work natural, why did we ever have to make crystal clean spirits? Because the supermarket demands it, the market, but the consumer. Why shouldn't we enjoy a trouble? But look, it's not. It's not a lot. Oops. It's not a lot, but there is some. You see the particles?
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's there. This is actually a lot number. I think it's one of the first bottlings that we did for the Lot d'Hivern. So yeah, the cloudiness. If you ask me to take it away, it would hurt a little bit. So please get over it. It's 100% natural. It's harmless, and it doesn't change. No, it makes the taste even better. So,
yeah.
So yeah,
and it's not going to be in every single bottle. That's
clinical, yeah. It's organic.
Yeah. Okay. Quickly, again, let's work through these quickly. Dave and Ingrid, what's the best way to drink the vermouth? So I'm having it neat, the vermouth Negroni.
Definitely, you can linger it with tonic, which is very popular. You can linger it with soda water if you don't want the sugar. But why don't you try a cava or a champagne or an English sparkling? Go your own way, you know. But
Let's experiment.
Be on the rocks, chilled.
Yeah.
And by the way,
how long does that last in the fridge?
Exactly. Once open, this is. You know, why has Vermouth a bad reputation? Because you walk in a home of somebody who's 80 years old, and you will find this old bottle on the shelf of a Vermouth which is completely oxidated. You know, it's a wine. It doesn't. You know, it has more alcohol. My Vermouth has 18% alcohol, but it will oxidate once it's open. So once open, in the fridge, guys, and then a year and a half, whatever.
All right.
But that would be bad behavior. You have to consume it.
Very good. Carol asks, what was that red wine you suggested to use when you were making that first gin?
This is
Grenache.
our gin is made. We distill the lees of the Priorat wines and the Montsant wines, which both wine regions are in the Priorat province. Yeah? This is a Montsant wine, 100% Grenache, and because we distill Grenache. Now, Priorat wines are very expensive. I don't pretend you to throw away a very delicate Priorat wine. If you buy one and they are available or naked, you can use a drop of it, and you have, you know, the full show. You know, but if not, any leftover little bit. You got 3 bottles in the back of there. You aim on.
I do.
There must be a little bit of wine left in one of those bottles. You can use that. You know, because you're going to throw it away. The impact of flavors is very low. But yeah, if you want to be coherent, we distill Grenache and Carignan. So if you use those grapes, it's family of my gin.
Yeah, very good. That's a great tip. We'll take that. And then last one from Karen. What are your ambitions? What's next for Stefan?
Oh. Now we need 5 hours.
We've got 60 seconds.
My ambition is to be the next Elvis Presley of the 21st century. Now that's my biggest ambition. And I don't know if I'm going to get there, but that's personally really what I would. In my fantasy, oh yes, love me tender, baby. Anyway, my next ambition on creating products is something nobody believes really. Some people are saying it's contradictory. It's about flavors. And making something new, which gives you a trip, which gives you a voyage of intense aromatic experience without being an alcohol, which is astonishing. Because do you know that Coca-Cola has strains of alcohol, that Fanta has strains of alcohol? How do you extract aromas? By alcohol. How do you get rid of the alcohol? By reducing, by killing, by whatever. Yeah? But is it possible to have a rich aromatic experience with a non-alcoholic drink? Wait and see, because it is possible.
Wow.
You know, during confinement, I saw my opportunity. Everything closed down, lockdown. I can't sit still. I can't do nothing. You know? So I worked very hard 3 weeks on this project, and it accelerated. And it's opening the new future, the new life. Forget old life. You know? There are things going on. We had this pandemic. Sometimes I think, do we need a pandemic that it shows us what we should change? It's a pity, you know, because we should have changed it without a pandemic. But I hope everybody now understands that we have to react, you know. And, you know, it's not about a non-alcoholic thing. It's about making something nature gives us and not abusing from what nature gives us, you know. And, you know, people sometimes get marginated because of, imagine you don't drink alcohol, you have to say all the time, no, I don't drink alcohol. No, can I have something without alcohol? No, please, you know, you are accepted, you know, you can, why shouldn't you be happy without alcohol? I need alcohol. I love a good glass of wine. I can't live without it anymore, you know. And it's a discovery, and it's never about alcohol, and it never has been about alcohol. It always has been about a rich experience, rich flavors. And up till now, there were no techniques to offer that rich flavor without alcohol, because you need alcohol to extract aromas, until I came along. Now, I'm very happy. I did something which is well, it's actually, it's in this bottle. It's a little bit cloudy, and it has no label yet, no name yet. That's all going to be a big surprise, because if you support me on this one, you know, we go another 20 years ahead together, you know, because the future is enjoying life, taking your time, relaxing, you know, like take your time. Don't drink 5 gin tonics in half an hour, no. Drink 1.5 hours and enjoy it. And it doesn't matter if it has alcohol or not. Sometimes you need to lose yourself. I agree. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. But be open to flavors. Yeah. Concentrate on flavors. And all this comes from nature. It's not chemics, it's nature. So yeah, I'm very, very, very excited about this new thing I'm doing.
Very good. Thank you, Stefan. It's great to catch up tonight. I think that we hear you loud and clear, to flavors, to natural, to artisan, to, you know, just passionate people perfecting their craft, just like you. Thanks so much, Ray. Thanks so much, Stefan. Thanks to all the angels who joined us tonight. And this is our last one for a while. We're off for a summer break, so everyone get out there and enjoy the nice long evenings ahead. Hopefully with lots of nice Rambla gin, which is available on the site if anyone wants to buy it, and on our Vermouth too. So yeah, thank you so much, Stefan. It's been an awesome evening, seeing all the comments come through. Everyone's really enjoyed it. So cheers to you, and cheers to the future with Rambla. And
thank you guys. I mean, there's nothing to thank me. All the energy I give you is because you provoke it. You know? Because that's what's happening. And I heard that tomorrow it's a holiday, so
the naked bank holiday.
The naked holiday.
Join us for a long evening of gin tonics and get wasted. You know?
Big
response. All right, thanks, Stefan.
Right, thank you very much, Eamon, Ray, Laura, all the beautiful girls and boys, and Nega. I love you. You're the best company I ever worked with.
We love you. Good night.
Bye-bye.